good afternoon. We're here at Voices at the Table. We're hosting a reception this evening celebrating 11 months of work, and I'm here with Anne Chabot, and really happy to have you here. We generally see each other over Zoom, and here we are in person.
Yes.
Can you give a bit of a background to yourself and how we're working together?
So I guess it needs to be said that I'm Anishinaabe First Nation from Kitiyan-Zibi Anishinaabe First Nation. I've been working with First Nations my entire life. I feel not just a commitment to the cause and the issues that we deal with, but I have personal stake in things, and I would say essentially that's where my relationship with Lomiko comes from.
Excellent. And we met through Lee, who is an independent director of Lomiko, and we started on this journey with very simple philosophy, which is we want to do things right, and we want to work with First Nations and Indigenous people in wherever area we may be. Can you maybe share a little bit of your thoughts on how we can work well with First Nations, what that means to you?
Okay, I think it would vary depending on the issue. So I've done a lot of work with government relations and child welfare and things like that, but on mining in particular, I think it's really important for the industry to understand how deeply connected First Nations people are to the land. And it's not just something that they have come up with in the last 20 years or in the last 50 years. It's so intrinsic to who they are as a people that the language actually speaks about that relationship all the time. The words come from the land. The descriptors come from the way they relate to the land and how how nature exists on the land. And as a result of that, their philosophies are that they are caretakers of the land. And that's so fundamental and so important for mining, the industry, to understand that they're not just talking about business deals. They're talking about how do we maintain our sacred and important relationship with the land.
Thank you for that. And I know also from speaking with Lee, and we've talked about this, it's really important that I personally listen and that we encourage other people to listen before we speak and put out ideas and concepts. So certainly I've been listening, and one of the things that I have learned is that really we need to develop more of these critical mineral resources in Canada, in Quebec and in Canada for North America. Can you talk a little bit about, from your perspective or your community's perspective, what it means to do that responsibly?
Well, I would say that, the environment is everything. So responsibly, I think it's about some of the environmental standards that have been developed and created by non-Indigenous people. But I think to take it to the next level, and this is what I've always said in my work with non-Indigenous people, we have standards too. And our standards, especially around the environment and language and culture and connection to each other, without degrading other people, but those standards are even higher. And I think that's where industry gets challenged. That we've got some basic standards as Canadians, but if we're going to be working with First Nations, we have to be able to take those standards up another level. And so to me, that kind of responsibility, and sustainability relates to ensuring that those environmental standards are known and they're met as much as they can be.
Thank you. Well, I know that I'm learning, I'm listening, and thank you so much for sharing those insights.
You're very welcome.
And I hope that you can meet some people here and share your knowledge and your values with our guests this evening.
I would love to. Nice talking to you.